TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Welcome to another edition of the RF Video Shoot Interview Series. Today you're joined by none other than Colin Delaney. Thanks for being here today with us.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. My very first question is pretty obvious. How'd you get started in the wrestling business?
Well, I was around 16 or 17 when I went to the only wrestling school in the area. I mean, wrestling's all I've ever wanted to do since I was, my earliest memories of life are of wrestling. So I really, all I wanted to do was be a wrestler, so it was a wrestling school in Rochester, and when my parents felt I was old enough to go, I went to the school. It was called the Kayfabe Dojo, the name. Yeah, everyone likes that.
Who was the head trainer there?
A guy named Mike Rosario, or Hellcat, and Rick Matrix.
Okay. So you were pretty much a fan growing up and when you were little and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, as far back as I can remember, I remember watching WWF Superstars when I was, in the early 90s, when I was like 5 or 6.
Right. So, did you go to a lot of the WWF house shows in Rochester?
I didn't even go to my first live wrestling show at all till I don't remember, it was like 98 or 99. It was a WCW Nitro, and it was awful.
Oh, yeah.
It was terrible.
Who was your favorite wrestler growing up watching?
I was a big Macho Man Randy Savage fan, a big Bret Hart fan, big Mr. Perfect fan.
Right.
In the early days.
So how did you make a transition from going from a fan to a wrestler? You got trained and...
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't...
You contacted the school pretty much, or...?
Right, well, I knew some people because I had started, a couple years before, I started doing, ring announcing and that kind of stuff for wrestling shows in the area. And so I, made some contacts through that. And basically just went from there. I mean, I knew some people, made friends like that.
Okay. The training, as far as the training went, what was the hardest aspect for you to pick it up? Was it the bumping or psychology or...?
No, I mean, because I had watched it all my life, and then I was around it for a bunch of years before I actually did it. So it kind of made the transition smoother. The bumping wasn't really that tough. I got that down pretty well. I don't know. I wouldn't say it was the bumping. I mean, I guess the mechanics of it and the footwork and the workings of it.
The timing and stuff.
Yeah, that's still the harder part. I mean, I could take bumps all day, but the rest of it's where it gets complicated.
Were you ever turned off by early training at all, as far as maybe because of your size or anybody
Not really. I mean, where I was from in Rochester, there was a lot of smaller guys. I mean, my trainer was, shorter than I was. He's bigger than I was, but shorter. And I mean, when I started, I was even smaller. I was even skinnier. I was probably about 135, 140. So, I mean, I've put on some size. I wouldn't say ton of size, but I put on some size since I started.
Right. Who was your mentor? Who would you consider your mentor early on?
Oh, man. I don't know. Because, I said that my head trainers were Mike Rosario and Rick Matrix, but it was such, community training because of all the guys I knew. And then anywhere I would go, I would just pick up something from here and something from there. I trained with Tony Mamaluke for a couple weeks, and he was, really great, taught me tons of stuff. And, anytime there was a wrestler in town, I would do the camps, and I would do the, that kind of stuff.
What are your memories of Tony?
He was great. I think he lived in Schenectady, New York, which is about 3 hours. So me and a couple of friends would drive up there to train with him just because, he had knowledge about wrestling for, he was trained by Dean Malenko. I always wanted to be trained by Dean Malenko. Dean Malenko was one of my favorites. He's one of the best. So when I heard I could have the chance to do that, I went for it.
As far as some of the early indie companies that you worked for, I think there was one, Rock City Wrestling?
Yeah, a little bit. That was one of the places where I started, where I was mostly just ring announcing, and I actually did live commentary over the loudspeaker, which was a fun thing to do. It was interesting.
And then from there, I guess, was it Rochester Pro Wrestling? Is that the transition you made?
Yeah, Rochester Pro Wrestling, which is now NWA Upstate, which still runs. But Rochester Pro Wrestling ran mostly out of an old warehouse downtown, and then gradually worked into bigger things. It is now NWA Upstate, which is, I think, a really successful promotion.
What who are some of the names that came through the territory when you were up there, bigger names?
Oh, man. There weren't even a lot of bigger names that came through. I mean, when I was younger, when I went to indie shows in the area, there's this place called New Millennium Wrestling, which I went to a lot of their shows back, 99. And they had guys like Reckless Youth and Don Montoya, and like the big indie guys of
Right.
that era would come through. And I always thought that was really cool. Beth Phoenix came in. I remember when she like managed Don Montoya way back when.
What are your memories of Don Montoya and Reckless Youth?
They had back then. They had hands down the best matches I'd ever seen. It was because I wasn't really exposed to the independent scene. Really, I was exposed to what TV fed me. So I hadn't really seen indie wrestling, and New Millennium Wrestling had, their local guys they were okay, but nothing like Reckless Youth and Don Montoya. I've never seen someone interact with the crowd like Don Montoya did.
Yeah, he was a good heel.
Yeah.
I actually got to manage him back in Jersey All Pro shows. What about Jakar? How'd you get in working for Quackenbush?
I can't even remember. It was something to do with Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli came into a show in Rochester, and we met them and hung out with them a lot. And Chris Hero, who's a great guy, I like the guy a lot. He put in a good word for us, and he's done that a bunch of times for me. I have nothing but great things to say about Chris. Put in a good word for us, so got us into Chikara. We had a match with Cloudy and Cheech up in Smoke,
Right.
a team that me and my partner Jimmy have wrestled countless times, and had a good enough match, and we've been going there strong ever since.
How long have you been up there for? I know you were there in the beginning,
Well,
and then you left, and then just went back.
Yeah, without the 8 months, we started what? I think 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we've been there for a good little while. I have a lot of fun working there. It's a fun atmosphere. I like the locker room of guys too.
Do you like the style of wrestling?
I do. I mean, parts of it I like better than others. They try to make it different from what people think pro wrestling is. I think because pro wrestling's gotten a bad name recently with all the Chris Benoit stuff and all the steroid stuff and all that. It's gotten kind of a bad name. So they try and mold their own style with like a lucha libre, American wrestling, Japanese wrestling. They try and mold them all together. I think it's really cool.
What are your thoughts on Mike Quackenbush?
I think he's got a great mind for wrestling, and he knows more holds than I will ever even think to know. But he's got an amazing mind for wrestling. The detail that goes into the Chikara shows, a lot of them. It's run much differently than anywhere else I've ever worked, because you can tell he takes time to think out everything, and everything has to make sense, and everything has to come together. And if something's not going to come together, he doesn't just say, whatever,
Right.
that's not gonna. It doesn't matter. He will make it make sense in some way.
Any other standout matches that you might want to talk about in Chikara?
We've wrestled up in Smoke there 4 times. I think 3 or 4 times. They beat us every time, by the way, because that's just the way it is. Cloudy and Cheech. That Cloudy, I tell you. But they beat us every time. But we had one match at the ECW arena at the Cibernetico. I believe it was, what was the show? Cibernetico and Robin was the show. And it was, the 100th time we've wrestled, but we really clicked that night, and we got a standing ovation at the arena, and it was probably one of the best matches I've ever had.
Also, you went up to Canada for UWA Hardcore Wrestling.
Yeah. UWA Hardcore is really one of the bigger breaks that we got. It was one of the first places that I was brought into and treated like I was somebody and not just like another, random local guy. The guys who run it, Joe and John McCausland, are great guys, and the fans of UWA were so loyal. It was crazy. They had the building with a balcony and the set, and everything was just so professionally done.
Did you at any time ever try to get into like the other top companies around, indie companies?
Way back when, because Dunn and Marcos, the Ring Crew Express, are from my area, and my tag team partner Jimmy Olsen was trained by H.C. Loke. So we used to go to Ring Crew at Ring of Honor from time to time.
What year was it? Was I there or was I already gone?
I think you were just gone. I think it was just after, maybe.
04 probably.
Yeah, like New Jersey and some Philadelphia shows. But yeah, I mean, tried our hand at that, but we were really young and really inexperienced at that point. So I mean, it probably wouldn't have worked out well for us even if we did get there.
Right. You also worked for CZW?
Yeah.
Memories of working for Mr. Professional John Zandig.
Well, all right. Let me tell you the story of the first time I worked CZW, because this is a good one. We go down there, not knowing really what to expect. I've never worked there before. We're supposed to be in a match against, I don't remember who, some tag team. Some tag team that apparently did not know they were booked and did not show up. So instead of and there was another tag team match on the card. Instead of shuffle that around, maybe change things up a bit, they said, well, the only spot we have open is a ladders are legal battle royal. Ladders are legal battle royal. Not like, I don't understand the concept. Why are you using ladders if there's nothing to grab?
Exactly.
You're throwing each other over the top rope. It's not, I don't know, but ladders are legal. And Spike Dudley was supposed to be in the match. He was booked on the show, and he was back there, and they wanted him to win the match, and they wanted him to go on to wrestle somebody afterwards, and he really didn't want to, he made a very good point. Why should he's just a fly-by-night guy, he's not going to be there next month. Why not put over one of their own guys in this match and put them onto the bigger match? And it turned into a big thing, which involves some words exchanged between him and some of the guys. He said, all right, just give me some gas money and I will leave. So Spike Dudley just left.
Wow.
He just left after an argument with somebody about how maybe they should put over one of their own guys.
That's crazy.
And then I was put into a Ladders Are Legal Battle Royal, where I took, it was a Chris Cash Memorial show. So I took a cash flow off the top rope onto a ladder. Not good.
Who came up with the whole Olsen Twins gimmick?
When I first started training, my partner Jimmy Olsen had already had the name and had already been wrestling at it. And he was in a tag team with a different partner without the Olsen. His partner was named Jake and Bake, didn't have an Olsen name. And they were called the Amazing Technicolor Dreamboats. Pretty good name, I liked it. But Jake was on his way out, so they pretty much groomed me into the position to be Jimmy's new partner. So tag team wrestling is really all I've known. I was groomed into the Olsen role.
Now, as far as the thoughts on the not ECW, CZW style, excuse me, what are your thoughts on the style of combat zone wrestling?
I don't know. I don't really like it. I'm not one for getting hit with light tubes and chairs and barbed wire and all that stuff. It's it's for some. It's not for me. I see where it has a place on a wrestling card. I like to watch it. I think it mixes things up. I always used to. I mean, when I went to Ring of Honor shows back in the day, because I went to the very first Ring of Honor show. Me and my friends drove from Rochester, New York to Philadelphia just for the show. And I remember one of the things I liked was they had, there was high flying action, there was like that main event style of wrestling, there was hardcore stuff. I'm not all for like the CZW cram it down your throat hardcore wrestling, if you know what I'm saying. I feel their fans are kind of, it's been pounded into their brain, and then if you're not killing each other, they don't really care.
Exactly.
They're just like, bring on the light tube. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Give me a chance. Let me do something.
Did you ever have any interaction at all with Zandig at all, or?
Not really. I've worked there a handful of times, and I think I might have met him once or twice.
Who was pretty much running the locker room at the time?
Maven, DJ Hyde. DJ Hyde's who got us into CZW. We had a match with him somewhere else, and it was a really good match, and I had fun wrestling him. In this match with DJ Hyde in this other place, it was in like a fire hall in Mountaintop, Pennsylvania, and the whole match, the crowd is chanting Tombstone. I don't know why. It was me and my partner against him and Drew Gulak. The crowd is chanting Tombstone. They won't stop chanting Tombstone. I don't know why. But then we get to the finish, and it was supposed to be a DJ Hyde with a lariat. And he picks my partner up and goes, lariat. My partner goes, Tombstone. They've been chanting Tombstone. Give me a Tombstone. So the finish is a Tombstone pile driver, but I still don't know why they were chanting Tombstone.
How'd you get a job with WWE? How'd that come about?
Pretty much by accident. I was at my 9-to-5 factory job at a place called Bags Unlimited in downtown Rochester, right around the corner from the arena. But I was just working my day job, and my buddy Brody Lee called me up because he was an extra backstage, and said, listen, how fast can you get down to the Blue Cross Arena? I knew WWE was in town. I was like, as fast as you need me to get down to the Blue Cross Arena. He's like, all right, get down here soon and you can wrestle Shelton Benjamin in ECW. I ran out of my job without telling them. I just left. I just went and got in my car, broke many traffic laws, got to the building with just an old pair of shooter boots and a pair of knee pads in my car. Didn't even have my gear. I had someone get it for me later, but I was just like, I have what I have. I was in like work boots, a pair of baggy jeans, like a Detroit Red Wings jersey, looking like a total schlub. Just walked in there. Jamie Noble grabbed me. He's like, you're perfect. He shows the writers, shows the guys, this is the guy. They're like, okay. So, you know.
Was this your first time ever backstage at
Yeah, I wasn't even supposed to be there. It was just
right. All
the extras they had back there were like 6'5", you know, huge, jacked up guys, and they needed a guy for Shelton Benjamin to kind of throw around and manhandle a little bit. So they needed kind of a smaller guy. And they didn't have any. And actually, my Brody Lee called my partner Jimmy Olsen first, who did not pick up his phone, as the story goes.
Wow.
Which didn't really cause problems. People made more problems out of it than there actually were. But yeah, I went in there, Jamie Noble told everybody he found me on the street, which looked pretty true because I did look like I just came off the street with a pair of like volleyball knee pads that I use for training and an old pair of wrestling shoes. And it went amazingly well. I did the thing with Taz in the ring. And they said I really looked scared, which is true because I was scared out of my mind. I was, you know, I'm used to wrestling in front of a couple hundred people, but I was wrestling in front of thousands of people in my hometown. And against Shelton Benjamin, who's an amazing wrestler, a world-class athlete. So we did this match, and apparently while the match is going on, I heard this later, Vince McMahon is in the back watching this match going, that's how you sell! That's how you sell! That's how you bump! So that was very flattering, and I got to the back through the curtain, and everybody, there was a standing ovation up in Gorilla from, you know, everybody's congratulating me, telling me what a great job I did. Vince McMahon stood up, shook my hand. I was like, this is crazy. I just went out there and got beat up. You know?
Right.
It was an easy day's work, and I got out of the tunnel, and Johnny Ace was waiting there for me. He said, you know, great job. We want to bring you back next week. I was blown away.
Where was next week at?
North Carolina.
Okay.
I think it was somewhere in North Carolina. And like, when they told me they wanted me to bring me back, I was like, I'm driving to North Carolina. But they're like, we got a flight for you. We got a rental car. We got hotels. I was like, are you kidding me? Really?
You thought it was a rib, probably.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It blew my mind. I was speechless.
You also got to work with Big Daddy V.
Yep. He was like, people are like, man, he'd crush you. He was so easy to work with. Like, no problems at all, no complaints at all. He stood on my back at one point, and you wouldn't have even known he was there.
Took care of you.
Took care of me really well and gave me some really great advice. So, you know.
That was my next question. Did anyone ever take you under their wing up there?
It's surprising. Everybody was really, really cool and very supportive and always trying to help, you know. I can't think of anybody who really just, you know, shooed me to the side and was like, whatever, kid. Everybody was really helpful.
What was Vince like towards you?
He was really, really cool, actually. Intimidating because he's Vince McMahon, but other than that, I mean, he was really cool to me. He took me into his office a couple times, told me like kind of what he wanted with the character and what he wanted me to do and how some of my mannerisms should be and just some critique he had. And like I can remember doing like backstage skits where we'd be, you know, some pre-tapes where we'd be doing them over and over again. And Vince would come in and he'd watch it and he wouldn't like it. And he would like deliver the line for me, how he would like it. And I just think that's the coolest thing ever, that Vince McMahon is delivering your line for you.
Huh. Now, did anyone ever like say to you, you kind of doing like the Mikey Whipwreck role in ECW? Did you?
I heard that a lot. And I mean, it was pretty true. It was, I guess, I don't know if they knew it when they did it.
Right.
But that's what it came off as. I mean,
did you watch that stuff back in the day?
Oh yeah, I was a big Mikey Whipwreck fan back in the day, and even as he progressed into like Mikey and Tajiri days, I was a big Mikey and Tajiri fan. But no, I was flattered to be compared to Mikey Whipwreck. I don't really like comparisons, anyways.
Yeah.
I think I wasn't trying to be the next Mikey Whipwreck. I was trying to be the first Colin Delaney. Wasn't trying to follow in his footsteps.
Right. What about Mark Henry? You got to work a little bit with Mark?
Yeah, I got to work a lot with Mark, actually, because I wrestled Mark 2 or 3 times. I managed Mark. I did all sorts of backstage stuff with him. He's a really cool guy, and he always gave me good advice because he's been with the company for an amazing amount of years, and he was always really helpful. I remember he would always tell me that his wife would yell at him and tell him to stop picking on that boy. Because, he kind of threw me around a little bit.
You also got to work with Kane and Great Khali?
Yeah, Kane was really fun. Dean Malenko came up with a spot where he chokeslammed me picked me up off the ground from my back up and then back down, which I thought was really cool and really fun. Another thing is, when I was laying on the mat selling and he does the thing with the pyros, They're like, close your mouth, close your eyes, do not breathe until I tell you it's okay. I was like, wow. Well, okay. Apparently it would burn me in all sorts of ways that I didn't want. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, but the Great Khali, that was probably the most painful experience of my life.
Stiff or just...
Oh my God. He doesn't, he can't know his own strength. I don't know if he knows, but man, I was just standing stationary and he hit me with that overhand chop. Out. It felt like someone dropped a brick from the ceiling. It was... I just saw black and stars and just ate it. And I was on the ground thinking, I know he's supposed to pick me up for this bomb and I don't know where I am.
Right.
I can't see. All I see are stars. And then pretty much picked up my lifeless body, picked it up 9 feet in the air and dropped me down. Yeah, I was knocked loopy. He's an amazingly strong, large man. Did
you get it back together when you went in the back, or?
What's that?
Did you get it back together when you were in the back?
Yeah. I mean, I shook it off. By the finish, I was laying on the mat. I was like, whew. Let's not do that again.
And then your big program, your very first one, I believe, was with Miz and Morrison.
Yeah.
What was it like working with those guys?
They're really fun to work with. I liked working with them. I worked them in a handicap match first.
Right.
Which is the same night I got offered my contract. That's, I went through, I think it was my 6th time there. Because they just kept calling me every week and saying, hey, we want you to come back again. Every week after week. And then finally, I had lost my job at the factory because, I was...
Going on the road
all the time. And I could only work 2 days a week. And they weren't really looking for that. So I had to leave the job. And I was like, man, if I don't pick up a permanent gig here, I'm going to be in trouble because... If they just drop me after this, I need to go job hunting. This is going to be terrible. But luckily, I got the contract that night after I did the thing with Miz and Morrison. But working with Miz and Morrison was really fun. I thought those guys were really innovative, and I still think they're a really good tag team. I saw them wrestle. They just wrestled on Monday Night Raw against DX, and I thought they hung in there amazingly well.
Definitely. What are they like outside the ring?
The Miz is exactly what you would think the Miz is like. I'm sure that makes sense to everybody. Yeah. The Miz is the Miz. You don't, I've seen him go out to bars and he's just like, I'm gonna go pick up that girl. He's exactly what you would think the Miz is like. But John Morrison is, he's one of the coolest guys I met there. He was nice to me from the very start, which is what I really liked. Like when I was just nobody, when I first came in the first time, he's, talked to me and just shot the shit with me for a little while. And I still keep in contact with him to this day.
What about Tommy Dreamer? He was involved in the angle. He came out and saved you.
Yeah, and Tommy was so influential in my WWE stay the whole time, from backstage things like locker room etiquette and stuff, and just ways to go about myself backstage, to how to do pre-tapes, to how to deal with management, to how to wrestle their style. Tommy just helped me every step of the way.
What are some of the things he told you?
When I first did get my contract, because I was going to the extras locker room every time, because there's the extras locker room and then there's the actual male talent locker room. he told me to ask permission before I come in the locker room, which is, probably a really smart thing to do. I just stayed in the extras locker room. Even after I got my contract, I was like, I'm not going in there.
Huh.
But Tommy was like, ask permission and you'll be fine. And he would, tell me, like, if someone was giving me critique, how to, respond to them in the best possible way. And, he was so helpful with everything. And me and him still talk back and forth every now and again. He still helps me out to this day.
Did you like the program with those guys?
I did. I had a lot of fun. It built to... I actually have a win over Miz and Morrison. Tommy may have gotten the pin, but I hold a victory over Miz and Morrison, and I will take that to my grave. No matter how good they get, no matter what they do, I have a win over you, Miz and Morrison. Just remember that. Colin Delaney holds a win over you guys. But we built to a really cool street fight in Chicago. We did it, and I had a lot of fun. I got my nose busted open. Morrison did a moonsault with a garbage can on me on the outside, which he was like, I'll just grab like a road sign or something, or like a chair, and I'll moonsault with it. And then he goes up and he's holding a full garbage can. I was like, are you kidding me? Caught me in the bridge of the nose, but it was all right, and that was the only injury I took away from it. It was a real fun match. One of my favorites while I was there.
You also got to work with Estrada. They did the whole gimmick with you in the contract.
Yeah. And it's funny. Estrada ribbed me from day one, acting like he didn't like me. Like from the first, I think the first week they invited me back, he was ribbing me and acting like he was mad at me for something, and I didn't know, because I was just being very cautious of everything and everybody.
Right.
But then it turns out that me and him got to work the program together, and I just thought that was always funny. But he's really good with his facials and with his acting. When we started wrestling, though, those were his first WWE matches, and probably his first matches in a while. But the guy's physique is unbelievable. Like when he first took off that shirt and people saw him without the all the stuff on, everybody was amazed.
Right.
He's more ripped than half the roster.
Was there anyone in the back that you were kind of scared to hang around? Like you said, you were kind of nervous going to the locker room.
I did a Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania, and I got there, and CM Punk was there too, and we were both on ECW, so I was like, oh, maybe me and Punk are doing something together. And I was like, oh, what am I doing tonight? They're like, you're wrestling JBL. I was like, what? Really? Is that a rib? They're like, no, you're wrestling JBL. I was like, wow. All right. So, yeah. I've heard stories. I've heard tales of him just...
Taking liberties?
Beating people up. Not really taking liberties, but just being, like you would think he is. Just, pounding people. So I was scared. Needless to say, scared. And all day he was doing, like, interviews with Fox News and stuff, so we didn't really get a chance to talk. And we're about to go out. I'm at the curtain. Our segment's up next. He's got to go in the limo, so we haven't really talked all day. At all. And I was like, oh, this is going to be death. This is it for me. I'm not making it out of this alive. And he comes up to me right before we go out. He's like, in the beginning, punch me. I'll block your second. Finish as a clothesline. I was like, I was like, this is going to be awful. So I was scared out of my mind. And I get in there, and I hold off and I hit him because, you got to take the shots you're going to get. I didn't get many shots, but when I got a shot in, you got to make it count. I'm not saying that I was, railing guys, but I was, putting it in there like they would put it in there on me. And after that, he blocked mine, smacked me, and just took over. But it was like the easiest. He was so safe with me, took awesome care of me. And we got to the back. He's like, oh man, are you all right? He's like, thank you. I was like, I was scared out of my mind, but thank you.
Huh. Mike Knox, working with Mike?
I really like working with Mike, and I think Mike is way better than they give him credit for, way better than he's been pushed to be. He bumps and he feeds and he sells so great for a big man. I love to watch him personally, and he's the nicest guy on the planet. He may look like a serial killer, but he's so nice. he was always so careful with me and would always apologize repeatedly after we wrestled because the first time I took his move there, I took it really awkwardly in London, England, no less, and I messed my back up pretty good, but it was just because I took it like an idiot. I just took the move like an asshole, and like I tend to do with most moves, just take them. And we got to the back, and he was just so apologetic and felt so bad about like everything. He's like, "Did I hit you too hard? Did I do this?" I'm like, "You were fine. That's what you're supposed to do." But he doesn't like to do that because he's good at like the bump and feed. I always thought when Kane was ECW champion when I was there, if they could have put him in a program with Knox, I think it would have been so good.
Who were some of the guys you traveled with?
I traveled with like Jimmy Yang and Spanky when he came over to SmackDown ECW. Evan Bourne when he came around, Hornswoggle, guys like that. And
Go ahead.
when I first went there, when I first got there for the first couple months, they pay for your stuff. They put you up to get you acclimated to the travel and everything. And I mean, I would always offer to the boys, hey, if anyone needs a room to stay in or anyone needs a ride, I got you. So that's how me and Jimmy and me and some of the other guys started to travel together.
Cool. Was there any resentment from the other guys in the locker room that maybe you didn't go to Florida or anything, or?
Not from the guys in the locker room, but I always heard that there was resentment from like in the actual developmental. Like when I first got called up, that people were hot about it, like because some of those guys have been there for years and just never got the shot. And here I am off the streets, and they're throwing me on TV every week. And I understand, but still, it's like I can't do anything about this. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't switch you into my place. I don't know what to tell you.
Then you did a big heel turn with Dreamer at the Bash.
Yeah, and I still don't like it. To this day, I don't like it.
Was that the Office's idea? Or?
Great American Bash was one of those pay-per-views that everybody had to go to. It was one of those, everybody comes to Great American Bash for like a meeting or something. So everybody was there. I didn't think I was going to get used, but I knew Tommy was on. I asked earlier in the day if I was coming out with Tommy. They're like, no, I don't think so. And then around like 4 or 5 o'clock, they come to me, they're like, oh, you're coming out with Tommy tonight. I said, okay. I said, come to ringside and practice the finish with us. I said, cool. So we get there, and they're walking me through it, and they're like, then Tommy will go like this, and then you'll climb up and do it with him, and then you pull him down. And I was like, wait, what? I just got the contract not too long ago in, storyline purposes, and you're already going to turn me heel. Why? And it's like, I didn't think, with the size of the guys they have there, I knew I wouldn't be an effective heel. I mean, I could be like an effective heel character, but as a wrestler, I couldn't be an effective heel wrestler because I couldn't do much to them. I mean, creatively, I can find ways to do things to them, but it would only last so long. I could only do so much of it. So I was not thrilled about having to do the heel turn. I thought it was just kind of rushed to get a finish to the match. I felt it was just kind of came up with on the fly. But then I thought, you know what? I'm going to use this. I'm going to take advantage of this. I will get new gear. I'll cut my hair. I'll look different. I'm a heel now. I'm a different character. And they were like, no, just be the same. But now you're a heel. I was like, oh. Okay. And that kind of crushed me down a little bit.
As far as working with Tommy, you also were able to work the Extreme Rules match with him. Memories of that?
That was my last match of the ECW. I thought it went really well, and I had a lot of fun with it. I took a disgusting DDT on a road sign, and my body contorted in a really weird way. It's fun to watch, but Tommy was really good about having me get stuff in and trying to get me, over as that heel character. And I had no idea I was on my way out. I have no inkling whatsoever because I got released 3 days after that match.
Why do you think that was the case?
I don't know. I was on TV for 8 straight months, and they told me, creatively, we have nothing for you. 8 straight months, and then 3 days later, you creatively have nothing for me? I understand. They lost some money. They had to get rid of people. I just don't like that the reason was
right.
creatively we have nothing for you. Creatively, you must have had something for me, because for the last 8 months I've been on TV, So I think that's just the reason they give everybody. I think they just lost money, and whatever quarter that was, had to get rid of a bunch of people. Got rid of like 20-something guys. I mean, if somebody's got to go, I guess it's got to be me. I'm low guy on the totem pole.
Do you think you'll be brought back in the future? Or?
I mean, I'm 22 years old. When I was with WWE, I was the youngest guy youngest male talent on the active roster. The only person younger than me was Kelly. But I was, 21 years old. I just turned 22. I got nothing but time, and it was a great experience, great learning experience for me. And I think I took a lot out of it, and a lot that I think I still have a lot to offer them. There's still, Colin Delaney character is not dead.
What was it like for you to go back on the indie scene after WWE released you?
I was just trying to have fun with it. That's my main thing. I mean, it's weird going from being all the way up there to back down on the indie scene. But, I mean, I get to work with a lot of the guys that I didn't get a chance to work with before I went to WWE that I really wanted to work with. And I got a chance to team back up with Jimmy, which I always love to do. And so I'm not bummed about it. I'm having fun with it.
Now you're doing a gimmick where you go to indie shows, basically, I heard, and you're saying that on the mic you're better than everybody else in the locker room or something like that.
Yeah, Chikara has me doing the better than everybody, kind of attitude.
Right.
But I've been doing that some other places too. I wrestled Spike Dudley not too long ago, shortly after my release, in like this crazy hardcore brawl with it was build new ECW versus old ECW, and I just talked all sorts of junk about how ECW was nothing until Vince McMahon made it and all this stuff. So that's the character I've been trying to play, but it depends on what they want. I mean, if they want me to be the guy who gets beat up, I'm the guy who gets beat up. If they want me to be the jerk who thinks he's better than everybody, that's who I'll be.
What was Kelly like outside the ring?
Oh, she was great. A lot of fun to go out with. I was out for her 21st birthday. Very exciting moment. But no, she's a great girl. We still text back and forth now and again. She's my girlfriend. In my phone, I can show it to you right now. She's labeled girlfriend. She knows it. She's my girlfriend.
We got to fight over though.
All right. Well, you know what?
It's on.
Taking down many a man. We used to have this thing in the locker room since I was her boyfriend. Whenever a guy would go up and talk to her, no matter how big the guy, I would grab him, turn him around, and say, "Hey, listen, pal, it's my girlfriend you're talking to." And one time, I think she's talking to Mark Henry, and I just grab Mark and I say, "Hey, listen," and he just goes, "Don't do it." And I was like, "I'm gonna go over there now."
How'd you get along with CM Punk? What are your thoughts on him outside the ring?
I got along with Punk really great. I mean, one thing is everybody has when I met CM Punk's story, and it's always a bad story. Everybody's first impression of CM Punk is bad, and they have a funny story to go along with it. I'm kind of upset that my first memories of CM Punk are good memories, because I want one of those CM Punk stories. Right. But I don't have one. Everybody has one. I think I'm the only one who doesn't. But no, I love Punk, and I was so happy when he won the world title. I thought, he proved, like I proved that, you don't got to be 6'5", 280 pounds. He proved that you don't have to be the stereotypical main event mold to be on top.
What was your favorite town to go to?
Favorite town to go to?
Well, you went over to England, so that was probably cool.
London was really cool. I flew in, and they put me on the show last second. I wasn't on the tour. I was just on TV. So I flew in last minute, and they didn't have my working papers and all that set, so I got hassled at the border. Hassled. I was sitting down in the chair, waiting there forever, and someone tapped me on my shoulder and say, "Colin, is everything all right?" It was Shawn Michaels. And, I've been watching Shawn Michaels since I was knee-high. He's been wrestling longer than I've been alive. So, I always looked up to Shawn Michaels. And so he's like, I just told him what happened. He's like, "All right, I'll see what I can do." So he goes to the border, talks to people. They're getting autographs from him while he's going through the border. I wish they were getting autographs from me and not making me sit. But, yeah, he got the border people to let me through. And then I had, an hour-and-a-half long car ride, just me and him, to the hotel, where, we get in the car, and he's like, "How long is this car going to be?" And the lady was like, "About an hour and a half, 2 hours." He's like, "Oh, Colin, we got lots to talk about." So, he's like, He's like, tell me the Colin Delaney story. I was like, well, I don't know what we're going to do for the other hour and 28 minutes, but we'll go over the Shawn Michaels story after. But no, it was really cool. He's such a cool, down-to-earth guy, and it was just me and him shooting the shit for an hour and a half.
Who drove?
Seeing all the sights in London. Just random driver.
Right.
Picked us up at the
Oh, cool.
airport.
Okay.
And it was funny because the driver had the sign that said Colin Delaney and Shawn Michaels. I was like, yeah.
That's awesome.
All right.
Wow. What was your, I guess, standout moment in WWE that you're most fond of?
I don't know. I had a lot of great times there. I mean, in and out of the ring, those guys were like, they're like family for 8 months. You see them more than you see your family for 8 months, and then to not have them around really kind of stinks. But I had a lot of really fun ones. I mean, I wrestled the main event of ECW a couple times. Main event of SmackDown once. I hold a win over Edge. Let me say that one too. Colin Delaney holds a win over Edge. It may have been Batista who got the pin on like Kurt Hawkins, but I was on his team and Edge was on the other team. I hold a win over Edge. Don't you forget it, Edge.
Is there anything you want to say to your fans out there that you might not ever had a chance to say?
I don't know. I mean, I've got more than what the WWE showed you, and come out and see me sometime, and you can find out.
Any talks with TNA?
No, my 90 days aren't even up. My 90 days are up in a week, actually. So I didn't want to talk to anybody till after that 90 days. And the deal was, a lot of people find this weird, but when they released me, they said, in the 90 days you can't work for TNA or Ring of Honor. And a lot of people were really, wow, they included Ring of Honor. But yeah, they include Ring of Honor in that. So after next week, I'll see what I can do.
Who would you rather go to, TNA or ROH?
I'd rather go back to WWE. But, I mean, any would be great. Either of them. They're both world-class organizations that are actually, making something on WWE. WWE by itself is, it's clearly number one by so many steps, but the fact that TNA and Ring of Honor can make them sweat enough that they won't let their guys work there for 90 days means they're making progress.
Any good stories that you want to talk about that you might not have had a chance to?
Oh, man. None that I should probably tell due to the other parties they involve.
Right.
I don't want to get... for myself, I don't care. I'm the kind of guy who will do whatever for the story.
Right.
As long as it makes a good story, I'm in. But to protect the other parties involved, maybe I should.
Right. All right, well, hopefully one day we'll be back, and we'll definitely sit down again and talk more about your career, because it's early on, and you definitely have a bright future in the business.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Cool.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.